Hey, what's up guys? Inferno Warrior here, and today I will be showing off my build of Pendulum Magicians. It's actually been a while since I actually did a Yu-Gi-Oh video, so I think it's been a year since I last did my Galaxy deck profile, so this is gonna be pretty new, so yeah, I'm excited, so let's get into this. Yeah, also I took this deck to locals yesterday. I got a X1 record, and I made it into top four, but I lost that round, the top four. But again, my deck is not complete. I still need some cards and need like 10 or 15 cards before I consider the deck to be truly complete. But we'll get there. Okay, starting off the monsters. We got three Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragons. This is basically one of the key components of my deck. It deals double battle damage to whenever it battles an opponent's monster, and it can also search a pendulum monster with 1500 or less attack during the end phase by destroying itself. And it also has a lot of other combos, which I will show off a little bit later. Next up, we have three Wisdom Eye Magicians. This is one of the best. This is one of the best pendulum monsters in my deck, honestly, because you can place in your scale. If you have a magician or a performer pal in your other scale, you can pop it and put another magician in the scale. So what I'll do is just, I'll put Over Dragon in the scale, which is scale 2, put this in the scale, pop this, and put a Dragon Pit in the other scale, and then just continue my plays from there. Next up, we have three Dragon Pit Magicians, and this is also one of the key components because it is one of the only scale 8s I have, and it has the pendulum effect. Once per turn, you can discard a pendulum monster from your hand, just target one spell trap on the field and destroy it. And it's also good for rank 7 plays. So yeah, a must have at 3 in this deck, at least for me. Next, three Oath Dragon Magicians. This is basically the recycler of this deck, because whenever it's normal or special, you can add a Odd Eyes an Odd Eyes monster or Magician Pendulum monster from the graveyard to the hand, and its pendulum effect is you can add an Odd Eyes monster or Magician Pendulum monster from face up from your extra deck to your hand. So really, really good. Also good for rank 6 plays too. Next we have three Magispector Unicorn Kyrian. This guy has helped me out of a lot of situations where I've had to deal with troublesome monsters that I can't get over. Because what it can do is it can target any pendulum monster on your side of the field, and then a monster your opponent controls, and return them back to the hand. It can also target itself, so it's really good. Combo I like to use with this is I have Scrollbat Joker on the field, and this guy, I'll bounce Scrollbat Joker and then bounce one of their monsters back, and then I can use Scrollbat Joker immediately next turn. Next up, we have the two Ubs, two Dragon Pulse Magicians. I usually only use this for one of two things: one, for Ebon Illusion Magician, or to pop a problematic monster whenever I need to, unless it can't be targeted. Next up, we have two Zhang-Ke Magicians. Its monster effect is once per turn during other player's turn, you can target a light monster on the field, negate its effects until the end of the turn, or until the end of the current turn. But I like it for its pendulum effect, because it lets me do the shenanigans with Odd Eyes Rebellion. I rarely ever pull the combo off, but usually what I do, I have him in the scale and Dragon Pit in the scale. I'll pendulum summon Odd Eyes and two other level 7s. Go into Odd Eyes Absolute, use his effect, and then change his rank, change Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon's rank to a level 7, and then from there I'll overlay them and go into Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon. And then Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon's effect is you can destroy as many level 7 or lower monsters your opponent controls, and they take 1,000 damage for each. And then also can attack 3 times during that battle phase this turn, which is really good if I'm trying to go for OTK. Next up is one Noble Dragon Magician. His pendulum effect is unless you have Magician card in your other pendulum zone, destroy it. Not the effect I like though. Its monster effect is different. You can only use it. You can only use it for a dragon type synchro, but when it's in your hand or graveyard, you can target an Odd Eyes monster you control and special summon her by reducing the Odd Eyes monster's level by 3. And so usually I'll synchro into Meteor Burst, and then use Meteor Burst to special summon something like Dragon Pit from the scale, and then go into Absolute Dragon, and then use Absolute Dragon, and you use another monster, and then use Absolute Dragon's effect to negate that monster's attack. I'll detach Meteor Burst for the effect, and then continuing onwards, I can special summon it back, and then just attack with Absolute Dragon and Meteor Burst and whatever else I have on my field. So really good for that. Next up, one monkey board. I usually only use this to search out for the Joker, the Swordbat Joker. Other than that, I don't really use it for much else because unless you have another Performer Pal in your other pendulum scale, its scale becomes 4, and sometimes I end up wanting to summon like 2 level 4s, but I can't because this guy's a level 4. So what I would usually do is, if I have Sky Iris up, I'll pop him and then add an Odd Eyes monster from my deck to my hand, and then just continue my plays from there. Then next up, the Swordbat Joker, the Stratos of this deck basically. You can search an Odd Eyes monster, a Magician Pendulum monster, or a Performer Pal monster with his effect. And it's also a scale 8 if I am so desperate to actually pendulum summon something back. Then next, the non-pendulum monsters, 2 Tuning Magicians. If this guy is in your hand or your grave, you can special. And if there's 2 Magician pendulum monsters in your pendulum zones, you can special summon it. Yeah, you can special summon it, but it gets banished whenever it leaves the field. The only drawback with this card is that when you special summon it or normal summon it, your opponent gains 400 and you end up taking 400 damage. But it's still a good tech card for my uses. Then lastly, one Effect Veiler for opponent's effects that we just don't want happening. Okay, next up is spells. We got 3 Pendulum Calls. Also a really good key card in my deck. You can discard 1 card, then you get to add 2 Magician Pendulum monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. Also, until the end of your opponent's next turn, Magician Pendulum monsters in your pendulum zones cannot be destroyed by any card effects. So really good card. Next up is 3 Wavering Eyes because really good against other pendulum decks, and also just in case you want to search any pendulum monster, you'll Wavering, destroy both your pendulum zones. They take 500 damage and you get to search for a pendulum monster. Normally I search Joker or Monkey Board off of that, but sometimes I'll search something else. The one spells, 1 Twin Twister, because I only have 1 at the moment, but I am trying to get another one. 1 MST to replace the other Twin Twister until I get another one. 2 Sky Iris because of its effect where it says Magician, Odd Eyes, and Performer Pal monsters in your pendulum zones cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. They can still be destroyed by such things like Wavering Eyes, though. And also you can target a face-up card you control, destroy it, and then add an Odd Eyes card from your deck to your hand. Add any Odd Eyes card. So Odd Eyes Fusion is a potential target, which is also one of the cards I need. Then lastly, to search out the Sky Iris, 1 Terraforming, 1 Foolish Burial. This is normally just to send the Tuning Magician or the Noble Dragon to graveyard so I can use his effect. And then finally 1 Raigeki. Okay, next up is traps. Only run 2 traps because I feel like if I run more, it would slow me down. And I would brick or something. You really want to get going with this deck, whether you're going first or second. 1 Solemn Warning, and then finally 1 Phoenix Chain. Okay, next up is extra deck monsters. We have, for the synchros, one Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. When this card is special summoned, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls and bounce it back to the hand. And also, if a level 5 or higher... Is that right? Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, and also, if a level 5 or higher monster is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, you can target... Yeah, again, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls and bounce it back to the hand. And you can only use the effect of it once per turn. Yeah, I'm only using this really until I get another level 7, a better level 7 synchro I can play. One Uneyes Meteor Burst Dragon. This is basically used for the absolute combo or for stuff like BA. Whenever it's special summon, you can target one pendulum card in your pendulum zone and special summon it. But Meteor Burst cannot attack this turn, and also its continuous effect, monster effects, your opponent's possession cannot be activated during the battle phase. So a really, really good card against stuff like BA and Cosmos. One Enlightenment Paladin for the level 8s. Really, this is a really good card. Whenever it's synchro summoned by using a magician pendulum monster as the material, you can target one spell card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. And then also, if it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack. Then lastly, the last level 8 synchro I play. This is a tech card for me until I get the card I need, which is Ignister, Dark End Dragon. Once per turn, you can reduce its attack and defense by 500. Then send one monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. It just sends it. It doesn't target or anything. So you can send their Dark Destroyer to the graveyard. They don't get their effect to banish and special something else like Forerunner from their deck or something like that. So I think it's a good tech card. For now, anyways. Next up, one Dweller, because you don't want BA and stuff like Cosmos activating their effects. Mostly. One Magister. This is basically to search out a pendulum monster, because whenever it's XYZ summoned during your end phase, you can search out any pendulum monster from your deck. One Castell for spinning problematic cards back to the deck. One Trapeze Magician to target something, to target a monster, and it can attack twice. I usually use this one when I go for OTKs. And then finally one Dark Rebellion Exceed Dragon for when I need to get over monsters that I normally can't get over. That can be targeted, of course. Then for the rank 6s, one Photon Strike Bouncer. I'm using this in place of Norito until I can get it. I'm waiting on Premium Gold to come out so I can try and get my hands on it. But I'm using this for now. Once a turn, during either player's turn, you can detach one material from it, and then negate one monster, one of your opponent's monster effects, and then if you do, they take 1,000 damage. So it's really good for like a lock, like if they have under 1,000 or exactly 1,000, and they have no other way of making it come back besides monster effects. Then the last rank 6, really, really good card. Number 39, Utopia Beyond. This is a really, really good card for OTKing, because whenever it's XYZ summoned, all your opponent's monsters, their attack becomes 0. So if you summon this alongside Uneyes Pendulum Dragon, that's 8,000 damage right there. That is game, unless you upstart them or something. But really, really good card for OTK, especially against Cosmos and other things as well. For the rank 7s, you have Ebon Illusion Magician. When you can detach one material from it and then special summon a normal type spellcaster monster from your deck, which is really good. And then whenever a spellcaster normal type monster attacks, you can activate his effect to target one card your opponent controls and banish it. So usually I use this when I'm trying to do a bunch of damage, or when there's a problematic card, like, I don't know, maybe Ignister or something that can be targeted. in those, and then I can redeclare an attack with Dragon Pulse, and then just attack with everything else on my board. Then next, one of the best cards in this deck, in the extra deck anyway, Absolute Dragon, running in at 2. Really, really good card. Whenever any player's monster declares an attack, you can negate the attack, and then you can negate the attack by detaching one XYZ material, then continuing effect. You can special summon any Odd Eyes monster from your hand or your graveyard. So you can special summon something back like Meteor Burst after you detach it. Or if there's like a Vortex Dragon in your graveyard, you can special summon it back. And then Vortex Dragon will gain its effect to bounce one of your opponent's monsters, and then you can attack from there. So really, really good for setting up OTK board. And then also, whenever it's sent to whenever this XYZ summon card is sent to the grave, you can special summon one Odd Eyes monster from your extra deck. So you can special summon Vortex Dragon, or Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon, or Meteor Burst if you run another Meteor Burst. So really, really good card. Then next, the Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon. Lastly, this is the key card that I don't really go into him a lot unless it's off of Absolute Dragon's effect. I rarely get the chance to use his actual effect with Jonka, but when I do, it's usually game over. It's usually game over for my opponent. And it's also a really good beat stick. I really use his Pendulum effect is once per turn. If you have no other cards in your other Pendulum Zone, you can place one Pendulum monster from your deck in your Pendulum Zone. And also if you can Pendulum Summon level 7, you can also Pendulum Summon him back, which is really, really good. Okay, next up we have I will show you the side deck. It's a kind of a weird side deck, so just bear with me here. 2 Lancias, basically for stuff like Infernoids, Monarchs to prevent them from banishing, like for Pantheism or Prime, stuff like that. 1 Chaos Hunter for the exact same reason. And also you can Pendulum Summon this. Like, if Infernoids don't have like Decatron or Reasoning or something like that, they pretty much have to find another way to get around this, and most times they really can if they don't have a Reasoning or a Decatron. Next up, have 2 MST. One of these will be a Twin Twister, and I'll be taking the other one out once I get a third. 1 Forbidden Chalice. This will be an Effect Veiler when I get another one, but for now, I'm running it. Next up, for the traps, 2 Royal Decrees for trap heavy decks, because we do not like those type of decks. And sorry if I'm coughing. I do have a cold which I'm trying to recover from at the moment. 2 Imperial Ironwall for the exact same reason as Lantia and Chaos Hunter. Infernoids, Monarchs. Damn, sorry about that. 1 Master Restrict for Monarchs, basically. I need to pick up 2 more of these. 1 Grand Horn for like BA and stuff like that. 1 Deck Devi. I'm on the fence about playing this, honestly, but really, it's still in testing. 1 Epidemic. Again, same thing as this. Still in testing. So yeah. Then 1 Vanity's Emptiness, because just against things that special summon. It's really good. But that pretty much rounds out the deck profile. But I will go into like the matches I went into in the tournament. Let's see, round 1 I had to fight against Infernoids. I 2-0'd it. 2-0'd Infernoids because most of his hand was bad, like for most of the games. I remember damn it. I remember he summoned Scarlet. No, sorry. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend destroyed my monsters and attacked me for 3,000, but after that, I was just able to pop his monster and then just go off from there. Round 2, I fight against Burn Abyss. It was a 2-1 victory. First game, I lost because of things like Fire Lake and Traveler, those types of things. Then game 2, I used Meteor Burst, so he can't activate his effect. He can't activate his effects from Grave, so pretty much he's in a bind there. Game 3, we go into time. Game 3, we go into time. I start going to stuff like Meteor Burst and all that, so he can't activate his effects during the battle phase and all that stuff like that. And I eventually pull out the win. I dealt like 3,500, and he couldn't deal more than 3,500 to me, so I pretty much ended up winning. Round 3 was against Mermails. I got 2-0'd. It's one of my worst matchups. Plus, I made a misplay when he had Abysscale the Mizuchi up, so I ended up losing that. And plus, he had Herald up, so it was kind of hard to get around it. But I made a misplay there, so yeah, I lost that one. Round 4 and 5 were against Monarchs. Let's see, round 4, it was a 2-1. The last game, I was able to win because I got Utopia Beyond and Trapeze Magician out when he had like 3 Monarchs. When he had 3 Monarchs on the field, and he just couldn't get out of it. Round 5, also against Monarchs, also a 2-1. I believe I lost the first round. Second round, I won because he bricked. Third round, Iron Wall was the MVP card. After he used Pantheism, I chain Iron Wall, and he can't do anything else from there, and it just scoops. So top 8, I ended up getting the win because my opponent left. I know the guy in real life. I would have been fighting against Monarchs, but he ended up leaving, so I ended up making it top 4. Top 4, I fight against Phantom Knights, but unfortunately I get 2-0'd there because I haven't really fought against Phantom Knights yet. But also my hands weren't that great during both games, so nah, it is what it is. But oh well. But either ways, that is the end of this deck profile. But I know some people have been wondering why I haven't made a deck profile. Is because I haven't really been interested in it. But I will be making another Galaxy deck profile again in the future after number 38 comes out in Premium Gold. And also after I get most of the deck back, because I traded some of the stuff from the deck so I could get some other cards that I needed for this deck and other stuff. But I should have that out by, if I'm hopeful, early April or late April or mid-April, or hopefully by early April I can have this, but I'm aiming for mid-April, hopefully. Okay. But pretty much all I need for this deck is a few other cards, and then this will be complete. And then I will post an updated version of this as soon as I get it complete. But anyways, guys, that's the end of this deck profile. I thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next deck profile.